Welcome everyone for round 2. I will wait another minute for the most to be connected and introduce myself. My name is Willem-Jan Vrijenhoek. I am an account manager healthcare at Ultimo and I am your moderator for today. First, a friendly note. You can ask a question in the chat during the presentation, which I will then pass on at the end of the presentation. You can find the chat on the right side of your screen. This presentation will be given by Annemie Wynant and Sven de Crem from University Hospital Brussels. And the presentation is about teamwork instead of data silos in the internal organization. Annemie and Sven, welcome. And if you can unmute yourself, then the floor is yours.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Welcome everyone. First of all, we would like to thank Ultimo, or the presentation has to start, I think, or yeah.
You have controls on the slide if everything is working.
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, so first of all, we would like to thank Ultimo for inviting us to contributing to the 2022 Congress and to let us share our integrated approach with you towards the implementation of Ultimo in UZ Brussels. Today, we would like to take you along the journey that started in 2013 with the very first implementation of Ultimo and to tell you the story of the role that Ultimo plays in facilitating some of the future strategies defined by our hospital. One of the strategies is to make the shift from silos to teamwork, ensuring engaged employees who work closely together in integrated back offices. First, allow me to tell you some facts and figures about our hospital, the Hospital of UZ Brussels. So our hospital was founded in 1977 and is located in Brussels. UZ Brussels is a university hospital, and therefore we have a teaching and training vocation as well as a research vocation. So our hospital works very closely together with the Faculty of Medicine and Pharmacy and also with other faculties of the VUB. We are the only Dutch-speaking hospital in Brussels, so Dutch is our working language, but we're also very proud of the fact that we welcome everyone. So actually, in practice, UZ Brussels is multilingual. Our hospital employs over 4,000 people, and our medical staff has 430,000 consultations per year. We count 721 beds and about 30,000 admissions a year. First, let me tell you something about how it all started and how Ultimo was introduced in the hospital. As pointed out in the introduction, the first implementation of Ultimo dates back to 2013. When medical assets was rolled out in our biotech department. And in 2014, it was rolled out in the labs, and the infrastructure and maintenance module was set up in the technical department. In the years that followed, self-service was added in the technical department, as well as in the biotech, as well as in our pharmacy. CAT integration and interface with OPRA was set up. And in the years that followed, other facility departments, prevention, and other labs started implementing Ultimo. So throughout the years, Ultimo was set up in several departments, each with their separate back offices.
And that brings us to our topic of today, being what are silos in the UZ Brussels? Yes, the next slide, please. Before we dive any deeper, we first must understand what exactly are data silos. To put it plainly, a data silo is a repository of data that is controlled by one department or business unit and is isolated from the rest of an organization. Think of it much like grass and grain in a farm silo that are closed off from any outside elements. Siloed data typically is stored in a standalone system and can often be incompatible with other datasets. That makes it harder for users in other parts of the organization to access this data and use the data. Data silos can have technical, organizational, or even cultural roots. They tend to arise naturally in large companies because separate business units may operate independently of their own goals, priorities, and IT budgets. Don't be fooled though. Any organization unit or any organization can end up with data silos if it doesn't have a well-planned data management strategy. Now we have an understanding of what data silos are. Let's take a look on how these integrate within the user process. Within our organization, throughout the years, different departments had become isolated silos. This was and is actually a natural phenomenon because these different departments were born as a sole identity within the hospital. Think of departments like HR, the technical department, IT. These are entities that exist on their own. This is also the case for the medical departments, like for example, radiology or maternity, because these are two separate identities that have almost nothing in common. Each of these departments have their own processes and data sets and use their own, or typically use their own applications. So now we know what data silos are. We've also established how these are defined within the user Brussels. So the remaining question is, why are data silos actually bad and what problems do they bring? Data silos between different departments may cause incomplete data sets. Data silos lock data away from users who can't access them. As a result, business strategies and decisions aren't based on all the available data, which could lead to flawed decision-making. Inconsistent data is another one of these problems. Many data silos aren't consistent with other data sets. For example, our HR department uses a different way to store employee data than our IT department does, even though it's actually the same data. Such inconsistencies create data quality, accuracy, and integrity issues that affect both end users in operational and analytic applications. Duplicate data platforms and processes is another one of these problems. Data silos add to IT costs by increasing the number of servers and storage devices which are needed throughout the organization. In many cases, these systems are also deployed and managed by separate departments within the organization. A good data management team would be needed to actually manage all of these storage and needed spaces. This further increases the spending and inefficiency of IT resources. There's also a less collaboration between end users because isolated data sets in silos reduce the opportunities for data sharing and collaboration between users in different departments. It's harder to work together efficiently when people don't have visibility into siloed data. Another problem could also be that the silo mentality in departments arises. Data silos contribute to an organizational silos, like departments and business units that guard their own data closely and are reluctant to share it with others. More like, it's mine and you cannot have it type of setting. So, which also brings us to our last topic or problem, data security and regulatory compliance issues. Some data silos are stored by individual users in, for example, Excel spreadsheets or online business tools like Google Drive, iCloud, you name it, or sometimes even on mobile devices. This increases the data security risk and privacy risk that an organization has to deal with.
So to better understand the strategic role of Ultimo in breaking down silos and facilitating teamwork, we need to tell you more about our strategic leadership agenda. The strategic leadership agenda represents a set of strategic workshops in which all employees participated with only one goal, that is to shape the future of our hospital together. It was initiated by our managing board throughout 3 strategic workshops. All employee employees of the back offices define the framework for the future strategy of UZ Brussels. The first strategic workshop focused on UZ Brussels today and the challenges we face. There was a second workshop that focused on the need for change and where do we want to go to. As the third and last workshop focused on how do we create engagement in our organization and how can each individual contribute to the strategy of UZ Brussels. The outcome of the strategic leadership agenda is actually to shape the future together and to change throughout a shared vision. All 90 managers and 1,400 employees of the back offices participated in the three strategic workshops with one outcome to shape our future together. Where the mission of the UZB supporting services is actually to decare the care, to ensure that we have engaged employees who work closely together in integrated back offices, to ensure enthusiastic nursing departments, and to care for loyal patients, which appreciates our approach. During the workshops, different projects and actions were defined within 6 domains. For the projects defined within the domain of leadership and organization and in the domain of employees, it was clear that Ultimo plays a very strategic role. A strategic role in the shift towards integrated back offices and in the shift towards an integrated employee self-service supported by multi-jobs. So it's Ultimo who's facilitating the employee experience, and it's Ultimo that facilitates the shifts from silos to teamwork, ensuring engaged employees who work closely together in the integrated back offices.
Yep. So that brought us to how does actually Ultimo help us on the way for the road to success, which I will show in the next slides. By identifying our data silos, we got the much needed insight that we needed to know what actually needs to change. We need to tear down or break down these data silos so that our departments can work better together. Now, how do we tackle this road to getting rid of these data silos within the UZ Brussels? With the help of Ultimo, we started migrating our different departments from applications like Topdesk and bring them together under one application, being Ultimo. We made an analysis of the existing processes over the different departments and went for a complete overhaul of these processes. The next step was to align all these processes of different departments into one process so that we then could start with a cleanup of the duplicate data. We are also implementing, after all of these changes, the multi-job feature of Ultimo so we could let departments or different departments share the same jobs. By getting rid of the silos, sorry, one back please. By getting rid of silos and with the use of Ultimo, it's now possible to share tickets across different back offices. And we've also introduced a brand new service desk, or a global service desk rather, or how we internally call it, the employee corner, which functions as a single point of contact for all employees instead of having to go to different back offices per question. And lastly, we set up Ultimo so that it's integrated with other applications such as SAP and multiple other applications. Of course, all of this didn't happen in one day. As shown before by Annemie, the startup of Ultimo goes back to 2013, but it's with all the different departments now being migrated to Ultimo and with the strategic agenda that we can safely say that silos are being terminated. A question you might be asking, is this all worth it? And what do we actually gain out of all of this? Well, by migrating to one platform, in this case Ultimo, we combined our ITSM and also our facility management to one and the same, which is integrated through the whole organization and communicates with other applications and processes. Everything is connected to one and the same database and the same data structure. This causes that it's no longer possible to have different data sets over different departments, which eliminates most of the data inconsistencies. Also, by bringing departments together under Ultimo, they all use and benefit from the same master data. And last but not least, the divided silos or departments now feel more connected to each other. Oh, one too far, yeah. With all that being said, this is not where our road ends. The future still holds many challenges for us, like changing organization to work paperless. This is something where we would like to achieve with the help of Ultimo Go. We also would like to decentralize the support. We are going to focus on successful teamwork across the entire organization, with healthcare included, trying to go for efficient support for both patient and employee with a lean way of work. And last but not least, we aim to have a fully fledged asset tracking with a full integration on Ultimo.
Sorry, I will get you to the last slide. The time is up, so yeah, the last slide, please.
Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. We didn't get to the questions, but we will reach out to all the unanswered questions at the end of the Congress. So thank you, everyone, for your attention, and we will see you in the next sessions.